I remember it had gotten so dark, and I stood on the toilet and I tried to commit suicide. And I remember tying a sheet around my neck, and I remember falling to the toilet. But I also remember, like, for a short second, and it seemed like it was a long, long time. I saw my mother on one side, and my siblings and my daughter was like, "What happened? What happened? Why is my father dead? Why is my son dead?" And then I saw another person on the other side, which represented the DA, who was like, "Well, he's a coward. He killed himself." And then I remember at that instant, the sheet had broken. I fell to the toilet, and I was like, "God, I can't even kill myself." So at that moment, I knew that it was something much greater that awaited me. My life wasn't mine to take, but it was mine to share with other people. So I started learning, and before I knew it, eventually at the fifth year, I was released out of the hold. And once I was released out of the hold, I had to retest again. I had to do like a comprehension test. And the last time I had taken that test, I think I had scored like a 3.5 reading overall comprehension, and then they described me as a functioning illiterate before that. And so this time, I went and took the test, and I scored a post high school.
Oh,
And
wow.
not only that, yeah. So they threatened to put me in the hole because they thought that I was playing a game or something. And so they brought me another test, but this time the second test was much more challenging than the first. And I scored higher on the second test because by this time I was so in love with words. I was so in love with who I was and who I was becoming. But I was in love with with the fact that this person had planted that seed. So from that point, from what this person, that chaplain did to me, and the whole began to ignite something more powerful in me that I didn't even know that was there. And from that point on, it was like I was just on a mission. I had to, with those who didn't know how to read, I was like, man, you know, I shared your secret at one time, but I know how to help you get out of there. And so I just started being available for any and everybody. And so they started bringing the community in, and the community started hearing me speak, and they surrounded me, and they just started. It was just something that was so powerful that I just felt as though, okay, I finally arrived.